you a few things real quick on how to reuse your disposable vape e-cig batteries for all kinds of useful stuff. If this is the first time you tune into the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if I can do that, they'll be doing a prize giveaway and a $1,000 giveaway, so don't miss out on that. But right into it, let's get into what these batteries are. So these batteries inside here are Lipo batteries. So they are lithium polymer 3.7 volt batteries. These are in a lot of stuff. So they're very similar to a 18650, which is a cell like this. That's actually what they run the Tesla cars on, and so on, and all kinds of other stuff. All your battery packs and stuff that you see for electric scooters and everything, they all typically have some form of 18650s in it. This is a battery bank. It has 18650s in it. You can see it's the size of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it in here. And this will charge your phone or whatever, whatever you want to charge. So there we go. There's your first application of what you can use these for. So you can use these, you can put a bunch of them together to make a bunch of those and stack them into anything like this that maybe has gone bad, or you just want to extend the range. And you can make a battery pack similar to this guy, which is a very, very makeshift, dangerous battery pack, but it does the job. And you could replace the battery in something like this with something like this and extend the life of it. The lithium polymer batteries are basically the same thing as these, which are RC batteries. For those of you that are familiar with RC batteries, they are also lithium polymer. So one cell of this battery is just like one cell of this battery. They are 3.7 volt lithium polymer batteries. So that jumps into our number 2 thing that you could use these batteries for. You could make a battery pack similar to this and run half of them in series with the other half. This here is a 7.4 volt RC battery, so you could easily make a RC battery 7.4 volt. Just connect half of them together and the other half of them together, and then connect those two halves in series to make a 7.4 volt. And this one would be almost equivalent to this one, so you could use these for any kind of RC car or something of that nature. So that's number 2. So we got battery banks, RC applications, and then let's get into another more basic application. So things like these. This is just a flashlight I picked up from Walmart. It is a rechargeable flashlight. As you can see, it has a USB port in the back. Therefore, it charges on 5 volts. So it says right on the side here, 3.7 volt rechargeable, 2000 milliamp hour lithium ion batteries, 7.4 watts. Honestly, 2000 milliamp hours is not a lot of power for a big old flashlight like this. So obviously there's a bunch of space inside of here that's not being used. So what I did was I opened up this flashlight and I basically tripled the battery capacity. I stuffed some of these in every gap I could fill, and I soldered them all together in series with basically, or in parallel with basically one battery like this that was in here. And I stuffed one of these anywhere I could fit them in the handle. Now it's really heavy, but this thing lasts for days. I mean days. I can use it over and over and over again and forever before I have to charge it now. And definitely extended the value of this and the range of how long it will last. So anything like a flashlight or something of that nature that has a 3.7 volt rechargeable battery, you can extend its range and make it last a lot longer. Just like this guy. This here is a motion spotlight, a really bright one I might add, and it only comes on when it detects motion. These are great for all different things, but they take these big D batteries, which are a pain in the butt because they're expensive and they don't last very long. So I hate buying D batteries. So what I did, it's a 9 volt battery. So if you add up the batteries that it's supposed to take, and if they're connected in series or parallel or whatever, however they're connected, you figure that out. You add up the voltage of the device, And when you figure out the voltage of the device, you know what voltage to make your battery bank. This particular thing runs off 4 D batteries, all connected in series, which is equivalent to about 9 volts. I think they're actually 1.5 volts each or something, or maybe 1.7, I'm not sure, but I added it up and it came up to 9 volts. So I put a 9 volt battery in here and it works great. As you can see, it works like a champ. So you could do the same thing I did. I just soldered a wire from each main connection that goes to the light and came off with a wire from each one, and then all you do is take a bunch of these, make a battery pack similar to this that will fit inside of here, and solder it on there, and then bam, there you go. And then all you have to do is, if you want to make it where you don't have to take it out to recharge it, what I would do is just open it up, and then I made a video on my channel on how to recharge disposable e-cigs, and all you do is you get a USB cord and you put 2 jumper clips on there similar to this. You just get 2 jumper clips and you cut open a USB cord, you find the red and the black cord, you put these guys on there, and voila, there's your charger. So all you would do is open this up, hook the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative of your USB cord, and hook it to a charger block, and then you'll be able to charge this thing up. You just have to keep an eye on it, and there's a way to calculate how long to charge, or about how long to charge, based on the milliamp hours of the batteries. And all these batteries are labeled on the capacity of them when you open up the e-cig. As you see right here, it says this is a 3.15 watt hour battery. So there you go, 850 milliamp hours. So that means it would only take about 2 of these to be equivalent to the battery capacity that was in there before. So you can imagine how easy it is to really increase your battery capacity, because I could add 2 more and right away I double the battery capacity of this flashlight. I add 4 more and you get the picture. So it's really easy to extend the range, and they actually pack quite a punch. They're a very solid little battery. They're almost equivalent to most 18650s, as you can see their size. They equal to about half. So very, very, very useful little batteries. So that's 3 things: battery banks, RC cars, flashlights, any kind of lights. Just like this is another kind of light that is one of my favorite, because it charges itself. So why wouldn't that be one of my favorite? I love these things. I use them for everything. I use them to walk around the yard. I keep one in the truck by the window, so when I need to look around in my trunk at nighttime, I just grab this guy, it lights right up. Never have to worry about charging it. These things run off 3.7 volt Lipo batteries or lithium ion cells, similar to the 18650. So very, very similar. So if you look right here, voila, this actually runs off similar to a AA, which is a 1.5 or 1.7 volt battery. So that's where you have to be careful. If it runs off of just one AA battery, then it's possible it can't handle the 3.7 volt of a cell of the Lipo. But most of the time, you can put a 3.7 volt battery in here. Not only will it light up, but it will light up like it never has lit up before and work way better. Although the solar panel is really designed to charge a 1.2 volt battery, so it may not ever charge it to full capacity, but this thing will be brighter than it'll ever be before, and it'll work great. So I've done it. I've put the 3.7 volt batteries in this thing, and they are way brighter, and they last just as long. They actually last all night, instead of they light up whenever it gets dark, and then a couple hours later they won't light up anymore because they're already dead, because they use tiny, tiny little batteries like this. So most of these lights that I have like this, I go ahead and beef them up with 3.7 volts. So this is a little different than the other ones that run on 3.7 volts, but hey, you might burn it up or it might work. So give it a shot if you want. These you can pick up pretty cheap, and a good battery in them makes them a lot brighter. So really, we're gonna keep it as 3. We got RCs, lights, battery banks, and one of my favorites is, voila, drones. Drones very commonly run off of a 3.7 volt Lipo battery. As you can see, most of the time they are a high discharge or something of that nature to pack a lot of power and deliver it quickly. So these batteries are virtually identical to these batteries. They're the same thing. So guys, it's real simple. You put a couple of these together, whatever can fit in your drone. For this case, I would probably use 2 of the round ones like this, and it would power this drone perfectly. Really, it would. You would have to put some bigger wires on here if you're going to power a drone, because you're going to deliver a lot more power at once, because they use a lot of power in a quick amount of time. But as you can see, the size of this battery and the size of this battery, if I just made a spare battery for this drone with 2 of these, which would fit in here perfectly. Here, let's see. Right away, just from making an extra battery bank, or an extra battery for my drone, now it will have more capacity. So now I'll get to fly longer. The only thing with drones you have to be careful with whenever you're making batteries for them is you have to make sure that the drone is going to be able to pick up the added weight that you may add to it. So if the battery is not very efficient and it has a large weight with minimal watt hours, then it's not one that you would typically want to use for a drone. But these batteries are actually pack a lot of punch for their size and weight, so I would highly recommend using these for a drone. But in this case, I mean, to keep it the way it is, I would only be able to fit 1, but I would be able to pick, some E6 have these little flat batteries, and I would probably be able to put 3 of those in there. So, you kind of got to pick and choose which ones will fit in whatever you're adding batteries to. But that's, kind of common sense. But as long as you can fit the batteries in there, then you can use them. And this thing, once you put this plug on here, so if you get another plug like this, you put 2 of these batteries together, put a plug like that on there, not only can you use it to power your drone, but now you can charge it with your drone charger. So whatever charger that originally charges this battery, guess what? It'll charge this battery just as good. So that'll give you another safe way to have a charger for these type of batteries, and it will actually stop charging when it's full, typically on most drones. Not all, so don't quote me on that. But that's another cool little thing about it, because once you change that plug, now the charger will fit it. You can probably get these plugs, or for whatever you have your drone, probably get them online or at an RC store. So technically this is still RC applications, but people don't think about drones when they think about like RCs, like RC cars. And most drones don't carry big batteries like this, although I have one that does, and it carries a battery. It's actually 11.1 volt big battery, similar to this guy is what my drone takes. But a lot of times for smaller, cheaper drones, you're gonna have little batteries like this, because this drone right here would never carry this battery. But I have a drone that is pretty big that will. But anyways, so you can use them for your drone. That's pretty cool. And also in one of my past videos that I did, I promised that I would do this video on how you can reuse the disposable e-cig batteries on a drone. So I was a man of my word. So you can totally do that. Alright. So what else do we have? Aha! Another one of my favorites. Game cameras. As you can see, most game cameras take a buttload of batteries. A buttload. I hate buying batteries for this thing. It takes a ton of AA's, 8 to be exact. Like, that's a lot. That's really expensive. So if you're already a vapeaholic and you've got bags of vapes like this, why not reuse them for something useful? So the beauty about this guy is you can make these fit right in here, and each one will take the place of 2 of your AA's. And they'll run a lot longer because they're way better technology than your stupid AA batteries. So you just have to add up the voltage like I mentioned earlier before. So these are all connected in series at a 1.5 volt per cell. So 1.5 times 8 is 12. So this thing runs off 12 volts, which explains why this guy also has a port on it. I thought it did. For a, yep, right here. It also has a port on it for a 12 volt plug that you can use to power it as well. So another way, instead of putting batteries inside it, which you could do, but you could make a extra battery pack out of as many of these as you wanted, as long as you wired them out to be 12 volts whenever it got done. So these being 3.7, so you could probably do 4 of them would give you a good 12 volts, or 3 of them would give you a low 12 volts. I usually use 4 3.7 volts batteries whenever I want to power a 12 volt device, and it runs usually better than ever because you're giving it just a little bit more voltage than it usually gets, but usually everything can handle that. But keep that in mind before you go burning all your stuff up by doing it the wrong voltage. Make sure you got the voltage right on whatever you're powering. So this being a 12 volt, you could make a huge battery, and then you would just have to put a plug on it that matches the 12 volt plug on this, and then you could have a external battery bank for whatever, for this case, but for whatever you want to power. So that's another cool thing. Just like I said originally about the battery banks, you can make a battery bank not just to charge a cell phone, but you can make a battery bank to power just about anything. You know, that's the cool thing about these batteries. I see these vapes as a good source of powerful batteries that most wasteful Americans are just throwing away. Hey, if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I'd rather you give them to me. If you want to send them to me, that'd be cool, because I'll take them. I've got collections of them, as you can see, and you can do crazy stuff like me, like I'm going to try and power my house with them. Why not? Hell, if I can keep collecting them and get 1,000 of them, I will be that guy. I will put them all together and I will power my house with them. So that's kind of the plan. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help me out. As you see, I'm a kind of new up and coming YouTuber. I still have a long way to go, so every subscription really helps keep me going, and who knows, maybe you'll learn something. So I really appreciate you tuning in. Here's another thing. When you make your battery banks, the number one thing is to make some good connectors on them. These are my favorite. The way they work is, if I can get it open here. One is a male and one is a female. Pretty simple. So the beauty about these is what you can do is, say if you want to power your drone, for example, and you don't have or don't want to try and get the actual right connector. So these are a very good alternative. They are really hard to plug in though, sometimes. Sometimes they go together great. But usually they go together very easily, but this one's not wanting to. Jesus. It's almost like I got the wrong ones to go with it. I don't think these are the right ones. No way. Well, if you get the right ones, these are usually very good connectors. But I think I have one size too big on one side. So make sure you buy the right ones. But I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I don't want to plug in for nothing. That's aggravating. They're the same color and everything, and I'm pretty sure I bought them from the same store. Why are they not working? Okay, well that's garbage. Anyway, these are what they look like. I don't know if you can see those or not, but usually they're very good. But kind of put my foot in my mouth here because these are not working at all. So I think I've got one size is too small than the other one because this is not working. But what you can do is you can cut your plug off of your battery. So you take this plug off the battery, you cut it off, then you put these connectors on there, and then put those the other end. So you put the males or females on the battery side, and then the males on the plug side. That way you can take this connector on and off this battery. Then your battery bank that you make, you put the females on the battery bank, and then you can always take this connector and plug it right into this battery bank. This way you don't have to buy a bunch of these connectors online or whatever, which honestly would probably be easier than going to the store and buying these. But I like to go in the store and just buy what I need, and I hate having to order stuff online. So that's the way I normally do it. I just make it where I can take this plug on and off and make it where I can put it on this battery. So just a little quick tip. But so far we've got RCs, we've got lights, all kind of lights. We've got battery banks, we've got drones, we got game cameras, and the list goes on and on. You can use it to power remotes, you can use it to power radio walkie-talkies, you can use it to power action cameras. Why not? This is a little action camera. You get them kind of like a GoPro, and honestly I should be using this because it records in a lot better quality. But you can just make a little 3.7 volt battery, probably out of something like this, or make an external battery bank of a bunch of these and make it where you just plug into the charger port, and it will also power this device, and that way it will also extend its range. I have a battery pack that I made for this one for when I'm recording, and actually I will show it to you right now. Okay, what we have here, you can get some of this other stuff out of the way. So all I did was I took a battery bank similar like this that it used just this one little thing here, and it went in this box actually. So this went in here, and this little chip right here went inside there, and it was just a little cheap dollar store or something power bank. So I just made a much bigger battery bank out of e-cig batteries like this, and I need to tape it up and everything, but I just made it. Actually, there's going to be a time lapse at the end of this video showing me make this so you can see how this is done. But these round ones make really good battery banks. They pack a lot of punch. So I just take this and you put a USB cord in this guy, like so, and then you plug in your device, and voila, ta-da, and that will power my camera. As you can see, she powers right up. So it says I have a full battery for sure, and I'm working. So that's what I use this battery for, and this is great because it records in 4K. I should be using this, but you get my drift. Make a battery bank and you can power just about anything, guys. These batteries are really useful, and I can use the same USB cord that I'm powering this with. I can turn that joker around, plug it into a block, and charge this guy up. When it stops blinking, it's fully charged. So very, very, very useful batteries. Why not keep them? You know what I mean? There's so many uses that you can use for these batteries. So why not take advantage of it instead of just throwing them away? I don't really understand why everybody throws them away, but I have a few friends that actually give me theirs, and I appreciate those people because those are the ones that are helping me make these videos and giving me a bunch of free batteries. So that's pretty cool. But as you can see, there's a lot of easy things you can do. Have fun, experiment a little, maybe you'll learn something, play a little bit, and make use of these batteries. I appreciate you tuning in, and thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Peace out.